Okay, like I said in the last video, now that I make the patterns for left to right, now I need to make a pattern front to back. So what I've done is I've gotten more cardboard. It's really the only thing I like to use. It's better than cardboard, which of course you can use. It's just that in cardboard will start folding over. It won't be quite as accurate as you can make one of these. Or make the same thing in hardboard, I should say. So you can get this stuff pretty much anywhere. I think this was on the back of a old cabinet I had. Just tear it off, keep it off to the side. When I need to make patterns, I use it. All right, well, let's get started. So first thing I want to do is find out a center line of sorts to go front to back. So what we'll do is we will take a piece of tape. Visually, I'll just kind of see where I am. That should be good enough. Now from there, we'll just make some marks on here for center line. And then we can use that for the hardboard. So first thing we'll do is just put it on the side here just to get a rough estimate on what I want. And I want it just above these two holes up here. So we'll start up here. And it's easy to start because all you got to do is basically grab your hardboard and then just off the body. And that's as easy as that one's gonna be. So that'll be our first cut, and very rough. It won't fit at all, but this will be the first thing we can do to actually start this. Now I cut it. I make my cuts with an old jigsaw that I have and a spindle sander. That's how I get the most accurate cuts. Right now, this will be all we're going to use. We're just going back and forth from this machine to the body. Testing it, cutting it, testing it, cutting it. Then once I get it close to where I need it, then I'll come to the spindle sander and I'll make my finer adjustments to it. Yeah, I guess let's just get started. All right, so there's our first cut. The body line on the outside actually doesn't look too bad, but because we need to be inside here, we're way off. Now what we got to do is start cutting so that we get this lip here, the indentation. It's just back and forth, back and forth. So we will grab it right here because that's where now we just got to make just these small little cuts you got to start making, and that's it. So the more we cut, the closer we get to the indentions that we all need. And like I said, it's just back and forth, back and forth. Getting closer. There we go. Starting to look a little bit better. Getting more of a straight line in here. So now I got to start cutting inside here, taking that little bit out. There we go. And now it's really starting to look like a pattern. Beautiful. There we go. A lot closer now. All right, we're getting a lot closer here. You know, you can see that there's just a little bit. It's a little bit more. So now the next thing I'm going to do is go on my sander and I'll start squaring these up a little bit better. So they're kind of wavy and all that, so we'll get them straightened out right now. All right, this top section looks real good. Real happy with that. Okay, that looks real good. Now, I have to work down here in the lower section. I see there's about a 1/4 inch gap down there. And I can see that this base down here is a little bit too high, so I'll have to cut it back a little bit more. This is something that's going to go on, off, 100 times. You just can't get away from it. But to get the most accurate reading you can get from this side to that side, this is how it's got to be done. It's I've worked on this for maybe 20 minutes now, so it's not a crazy amount of time, but it is something that needs to be done, especially if you're trying to get these two as correct as possible. So now once you get down to this, because this is really, really close now. This is about as close as I'm going to get it. Now you come in with files and you can start filing. Get a more accurate reading that way too. And I would say that is about, no, I guess I can take a little more off. A little more off from the top here. That is just about it, I'd say. As we can see how it fits, putting it on the lines that we drew for center, we are right there. Could use just a little bit more, and I'll probably end up going after it a little bit more just to get it in there, just somewhat better. But that's perfect, at least so we can see this side to this side. So I guess what I'll do is I'll readjust the camera and we'll see how this side that was hit looks. Okay, so let's do the same thing we did with this one. And let's see what this looks like now. Holy cow, that is bad news. That is really bad news. I have got an area in here that I can stick my finger through. So this whole section right here is completely crushed in. And that would make sense why this taillight bucket right there is so far back compared to that side. Yeah, this passenger side was hit hard. It's funny because the bottom doesn't seem so bad, but this top section, man, it's bad. All right, well, at least now I know. Wow, that is, I can stick a whole marker through it, such a big jump. All right, well, at least now I know what I have to do. And looking at this, yeah, this whole section right here, this whole section, all needs to come forward and up. Wow. Well, I will be doing some heavy duty body work on this side just to get this thing up before we can even put these back in. But, well, we're getting somewhere, and at least we know just how bad the body is. So I really can't do anything until everything comes up. So until, I guess until next time, that's about as far as we can go today.